So we're starting this week's episode off here inside of the bunker again with the lighting situation. You know, last week we revealed the inside of the bunker and the new lights here. I received a lot of great feedback, but I also received some good constructive feedback as well, centered around the lighting, specifically some of the lighting being a little bit too bright. Now, currently you are looking at the bunker through my DSLR camera, which is a Canon SL2, which isn't the greatest camera in low light situations. That's why I typically like to switch over to my iPhone 13 Pro Max in low light situations because it performs better. So take a look at this bunker now through my iPhone 13 Pro Max. All right, we are now looking at this bunker through my iPhone 13. The lights in the room are the same. I'm sitting in the same position. The lights in the bunker are the same, but as you can see, this iPhone is handling the color or the light a bit differently. It's enhancing the dark areas to make them more brighter. It's pumping up the color a little bit. In the camera, you can see that the red lights look a little bit different through the iPhone than they did the DSLR. So what we need to actually do is maybe diffuse the lighting in here a bit, because I still want to use the iPhone for this shot because I just think it does a better job than the DSLR. But at the same time, we need to handle the lighting conditions in the bunker a little bit better so the brightness and color comes through the phone a bit better, if that all makes sense. So I've got some paper and some tape up here. Now you might be saying, oh no, Andy, that needs to be a brick built solution. Well, I don't agree with that. You know, these lights, they're not Lego. We're just talking about lighting up the build. I don't think the lights so much have to be, you know, a non-illegal building, you know, solution here. I think we're okay to do what we need to do to get the lights correct within the build. And plus, if I was going to do a brick built solution, I'd have to come up with probably a snot technique here on the roof. And that's just more than I have in me because I have so much of this already built that I'm just not going to go that route. So I think we're okay to try some different things here to rig up the lighting a bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and try some different things, and I'll show you what I come up with here in a second. All right, we are on the iPhone 13. I have all the lights off in the room except for the ones in the back that you see. And I did not use tape, but I did end up using paper, which I'll show you kind of how I did that here in a moment. But just looking from back here, I think the diffusing or the dimming effect of the paper has done its job. I think we're seeing a lot more of the red, the lights in the console here, as well as, you know, even the lights on this back wall here are just able to shine a little bit better. The panel over here is able to shine brighter, and our floor lights are able to shine brighter as well. And even over here, you can slightly see the lights coming up from the floor. I'm sorry, my phone is just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this for the cinematic or not, because you can see all the colors changing in here. Or maybe I just need to learn how to use a phone, but either way. So what I did is in the top here, right, I basically wedged paper up into the build that I had and used friction to kind of hold it in place. So that worked out actually pretty well. And then over here, my space is a little bit wider, so I had to come up with a different solution. And I actually ended up cutting the paper to size to fit in between the studs to where I could snap the bricks down on top. So that actually ended up being a pretty cool solution. So all in all, I think that I do like the way that the lighting is looking right now, a bit darker to where these colors can really, you know, take effect. So you guys let me know what you think down in the comments about the solution that came up in this episode. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on to some other aspects of this build. All right, so probably not the most exciting thing to do, but I'm gonna go ahead and work on some of the landscape right here, and I'll show you my progress here in just 1 second. How satisfying is that? That just looks really cool. As you guys know, I love using wedge plates to shape the terrain in my builds, and I just really like all the different layers and all the different kind of, detail that the wedge plates kind of bring to the terrain. I think this really interesting looking. It got a little crazy in this area because I have about 3 or 4 layers on here, and getting all the different layers to meet up correctly was a bit of a brain tease, but it turned out okay. I still have this area to do because we have the waterfall to figure out, and I'm actually going to have, rocks kind of come down and into the landscape down here as well, which I think will look pretty neat. So we have a bunch of different pathways kind of going through Endor, different kind of dirt paths. We have a lot of grass. I just really like the way that the contrast looks between studs and then a more textured kind of look in the dirt. That's just me, but I just kind of really like how that looks. There will be a bunch of trees and plants and things right here, and I wanted to build in just another little elevation here to make it look a little bit more interesting. So we have that there, and I'll probably put a couple trees on top of there. Platform 4 will sit right here, and I got to figure out how I'm going to build that. And then we just have like the rock work over here, waterfall, and obviously we have to, oops, almost fell down. We have to enclose the top right here. So I don't normally do haul videos, but I have some cool things in here I wanted to show you. Some important things and some cool things. The first thing are these plant pieces right here. I got 200 of these because I want to do a little better job diversifying the foliage or the plants on the terrain. I think I've kind of used one plant piece predominantly, and I want to mix it up a little bit by adding some more unique plant designs throughout the build. Next, we have Mace Windu from General Grievous's Combat Speeder set. This is the one without the printed arms. It's set 75199, and I just want to build up my Jedi minifigure collection. So I did not have Mace Windu, so now I do, and this is an awesome minifigure. A few things here from Clone Army Customs, and I got something really special from them as well. First up from Clone Army Customs are these custom Phase 2 212th helmets. And I got these because I just purchased a new ATTE set, which comes with 212th troopers, but they have a newer or different style helmet from the older Phase 2 troopers, which I have 2 of those. So I figured if I got 5 of these helmets that maybe they could all have matching helmets. So we'll see how that looks. 20 of these DC-11 blasters for the Stormtroopers. I have DC-15s for Clone Troopers, but I didn't have the DC-11s, so now I have 20 of these. So we have the accurate blasters for the Stormtroopers. I got a few more of the A280s for the Rebel Troopers, so I just needed a few more of those. So these are actually really cool rifles. I got a couple more of these Rex pistols, and you'll see why here in a second. And then I got a few of these Scout Trooper pistols or blasters. They're pretty cool. We're going to have a few Scout Troopers in the Endor MOC, so I needed to have the accurate weapon for them. And the reason for the pistols is because they might look cool on this Phase 2 Jesse. So I did not have a Phase 2 Jesse. I picked this up from Clone Army Customs. I'm just trying to build out the 501st Squad for Captain Rex's squad. So this Jesse is really cool. In here, we have 5 Geonosian warriors with wings. So yes, we are going to be making a smaller scale Geonosis MOC here at some point in the future, but really happy to have 5 of these guys. I also picked up Quinlan Vos as another step towards collecting more Jedi minifigures. Plus, I'm really interested in learning more about his story. I only first learned from him in really the Kenobi show. I believe I saw him in the Clone Wars as I've been watching that, but I can't really remember. It might have been late. I might not have been paying that much attention while I was building. I don't know. Either way, I want to learn more about Quinlan Vos. Definitely a really cool minifigure. Another cool minifigure is Saci Tin. So just another Jedi to add to the collection. I don't know much about his story, but I definitely want to learn more. a dark tan officer because I did not have one of these, and believe it or not, I didn't have a dark bluish gray officer either, so this is going to look great inside of the bunker. As a matter of fact, I bought these legs a long time ago, and I'm happy to finally be able to use them. So I know this wasn't the most entertaining video in the world, but we did make a ton of progress on the build. I'm really happy to get all of the gray base plates covered with some type of landscape. So that's really coming together really nicely, and it's setting us up really well for future episodes. We're getting close. We're getting close to finishing this build, which has me really excited. So speaking of landscape, if you want to see another video where I'm actually really proud of the texture of that landscape, check out this MOC I made based on the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's a freeform MOC, and I'm still getting better at that, but I'm really happy with the texture in this, so you might find that video entertaining as well. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next build. Have a good one.